Everybody, welcome back to the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Today, I wanted to talk about solo travel. What is that? Exactly what it sounds like, traveling on your own. I started doing that about 3 years ago, and the very first technically solo trip that I took by myself was to Amsterdam. And I think now more than ever, because a lot of us aren't able to travel like we used to, especially outside of the United States safely, we are thinking about traveling more than ever. And I miss going somewhere. I usually, in the last few years, I started doing a lot more traveling. Maybe in the last 5 to 6 years, I've done a lot more traveling. I've been to India, I've been to Dubai, I've been to Singapore, South America. I've done a couple of countries in South America, of course, Jamaica. Where else have I been? A few cities. And I just got back, right before the coronavirus really hit. I had just gotten back from celebrating the holidays in Paris. Traveling to me is such a whole other education. I tell everyone to travel. The United States, a lot of people don't travel as much. I think they're doing it more and more now, but still a large portion of people do not leave the United States. And I think it's just another level of education in regards to broadening your mind and being less ignorant when you travel the world. But I'm thinking about traveling now more than ever because we really can't, at least not safely and at least not legally. Certain countries aren't allowing the United States into their country. But I'm also seeing a lot of people going to places like Mexico and then coming back and they are testing positive for the coronavirus. So I'm okay with not traveling right now, but I am missing Amsterdam. Amsterdam is such an amazing city, and it's not for what you think. I think a lot of people always associate Amsterdam with, being very open to prostitution, open to marijuana use, but it's so much more than that. I think people don't even realize that. First of all, I don't smoke weed. So going there, that wasn't my intention. Even I've been there 3 times and I've never done it. I've been in the areas where you can do it. I've been in the smoke shops and coffee shops, but I've never done it. I still haven't. And I did say one time I would go and do it. Maybe next time. But I've been back 3 times on solo trips. I've made friends there. Shout out to Slavana and Inji. Those are my sisters. I love them. And I've made other friends there as well. I think the benefits of solo travel is you make friends that you probably wouldn't normally do if you're with other friends. You do things on your own schedule. There's no fight. There's no, making compromises on certain things. Taking those solo walks throughout Amsterdam, I still remember them. I still remember the air. I still remember the things I've seen. I still remember the people I've met. Also, the great thing about Amsterdam, in comparison to some of the other places I've been, like Berlin or Paris, is that they are a little bit more open to speaking English as opposed to certain other cities, which is fine. I'm no judgment to the other cities. I'm in your country. I really should make an effort to learn the language. But they're a little bit more open in Amsterdam in that regard. But there's just so much to see. There's tons of museums. If you really want to see some of the greatest artists in the entire world, they have some of them there. I've gone to the Van Gogh Museum, or Van Gogh, as us Americans say, museum. I've just done so many different, Indians still always refer to what I do when I travel is camping, which is I pretty much plan everything, tours, all kinds of things like that, which I'm glad that I do, because I wanted to see a lot, learn a lot. I didn't want to stay in Amsterdam. So I did go out to other cities in the Netherlands. So I've seen the countryside. I've seen just so many different things. But Amsterdam, the city, because I am a city boy, born and raised here in New York City, it was great to go to Amsterdam and see another city with these beautiful canals, these very specific Dutch type of architecture. And also speaking with the people there in regards to what their government is like. I love understanding that America has its problems, but so do other countries. No country is perfect. But I did at the beginning of this pandemic think to myself, do I want to spend the rest of my life here in New York City? I will always come back to New York City. New York City to me is just an amazing city. It is everything that people think that it is. But there is a part of me that wants to spend a year, 2 years, 3 years, or maybe the rest of my life in another city, specifically maybe Europe somewhere. And Amsterdam to me would be perfect just because I just love the energy of the city. I love the culture of the city. I love that, people ride around bikes, even though I need to learn. Don't judge. But dodging the bikes, all of that, getting accustomed to all that, preparing to go to Amsterdam for the first time, just all the research that I did, I felt fully prepared. And I really did Amsterdam on my own. And I loved doing that on my own. And there's nothing more empowering than doing a solo travel. And I know a lot of females are probably a little more concerned about traveling alone. I think if you're going to do it, a city like Amsterdam is a perfect city to do it because it didn't feel unsafe to me. The only places that ever felt unsafe were probably the really touristy areas. But the last time that I went to Amsterdam, I wanted that trip to be more about experiences versus, camping or, booking tours and having a schedule every day and waking up and doing a tour and going here and going there. This last trip was really perfect because I really made it about the experiences, about being with my friends. I even took a weekend trip to Cologne to spend with my good friend Christos, I loved going to Cologne. I love the fact that in Europe, you can take a train and be in another country within a couple of hours. So that was really amazing. So if you haven't done a solo trip, the minute that you're able to do one, do it. Even now, if you can do a long drive to another state, do it. There are parts of the United States I would love to see. There are parts in the Midwest that I would love to see. I want to go to New Orleans. I want to go to California. There's a lot of the U.S. that I haven't seen. I've been to Florida. I've been to other northeastern states. I went to Chicago for my birthday last year, which was really cool. I really enjoyed Chicago. But just something about the rich history of Europe, and specifically Amsterdam. I loved Amsterdam. I love that they love, they call it something else, but I call it pancakes and mini pancakes. Poffertjes, I believe the mini pancakes are called. Those are delicious when you find them at the right place. That's the other part of traveling. You're getting into the culture. Part of the culture is food. I did a food tour, so I tried a bunch of different things. It's an amazing thing that you can do for yourself and empowering. Just as we always tell females, you should always have your own place before you get married and settle down with someone else, or even a guy. You should travel on your own if you can. Do it once, do it twice. I'm telling you, it's just a different experience. But there's also the benefit of traveling with someone else. Because I have to say, the first time that I went traveling by myself, although I was a little nervous, there is a benefit when I was in the airport and I'm like, okay, I need to go use the restroom, but I have to take my luggage with me, my carry-on. Normally I would like, okay, I have my friend, just watch this, I'm just going to go to the restroom. Of course, there are ways around that, and there is not a big deal of taking your carry-on to the restroom. Everyone does it. But or someone taking your picture, or there are benefits to traveling with someone, and there are benefits to sharing memories with someone, benefits to traveling by yourself. So if you haven't done it, try it, prepare yourself, plan, because I feel like that will add to your comfort level. That will add to you being able to, like, I can do this. This is planned. I know what I'm going to do. So if you can do it, do it. And if you really want to do somewhere, I definitely think you should do Amsterdam. I think that might be one of my very first trips when we're able to travel out of the country. So I'll see you soon, Amsterdam. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'll see you tomorrow.